So, you guys, hey, welcome back to the Real Emotions series. Be sure to like the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want. If you like what you see. No. But I just figured that I would come on and give y'all a real update because we always go through real emotions no matter where we are. And I told you guys in the last episode that I was pretty much getting a phone call from somebody. And I just wanted to give you guys a little update on what happened. So after I got off the video, I did call this person back and they didn't answer the phone. Da, 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 da. Big reveal, they didn't answer the phone. So it's kind of like, you know. And I know that people are going to say, oh, well, you take it too seriously. No, I don't think so. I think that I'm just a different breed of person. Like, I would really do anything for anybody. That's my flaw, I guess. Because in the world that we live in, if you are willing to give yourself or give of your, if you're willing to give yourself or give of yourself to others, it basically presents itself like a weakness. And I don't think that's really a weakness. I think that that's actually something very noble, and I think it's actually something that is very admirable. Of course, society does not view it that way, and the way people view you is not that way. So I did end up calling this person back. I don't know if you guys have been on the channel for this long, but there was a time a few months ago where I had a situation with someone who I cared a lot about. And I guess they just didn't care as much about me as I cared about them. And that's not anything new. It's not anything really surprising, but it doesn't change the way it feels each time. So there were a few people actually who this person who called me reminded me of. And I don't know what it is. It's really hard for me to get out of this type that I have. The type that I have doesn't really serve me. But it ignites the passion within me, and I don't know why. I think, and my humble opinion allows me to believe that it's something toxic. It's like a trauma bond. I feel like I bond and feel an attraction to people who maybe keep me as an option. And I don't even think they really see anything wrong with it. I just feel like it's this whole thing of, you know, not taking life too seriously type of attitude. And I really understand. I get it. I know that there are times where I may take life too seriously, but I know how I feel. And I felt bad. I felt bad. I felt like this person even though there may be a lot of attraction, maybe even respect to a certain degree, or curiosity. I don't know what the word to correctly describe this is, but it's not love. And I don't care if this person, like, listen, I don't assume that this person should or would love me, but the way that I am, I know it sounds crazy, And at the risk of sounding crazy again, I have love for them. I think I just love everyone in the world. Anyone I meet, whether I know you or not. Like this little boy at the Braves Stadium, like his name was Jace. And I interviewed him and his mom. And he was 5 years old. And you guys might have seen it, or you might see it whenever I post a video. I don't know. But after I turned off the camera, I was saying thank you to them as a family for letting me like be nosy and get in their business. And I hugged his mom. And then he was looking at me like, bitch, where's my hug? And I love that little boy for that. He was so sweet. He was like, I want a hug too. And I'm like, oh, come here, baby. Oh. And I hugged him so tight. Like I hugged him so tight. And I was like, because me and my baby, Gabriel, my 4-year-old, every time I hug him real tight, he'd be like, squeeze. And he tried to squeeze me as tight as he can. And I squeeze him as tight as I can. And that's what I did with Jace. And it was so sweet. And that's like the love that I'm talking about when I meet other people. He was a stranger, but I guess maybe I'm like a child, I guess. Maybe I'm naive like a child. It's a blessing and a curse because I love the way I am. And I love how my heart flutters at certain situations. But I also sometimes hate how things can really like get to me and affect me. It's really hard to live like that. And to be someone with so much love in your heart, but to kind of like attract so many people who don't love you back. It's okay. I'm still going to love people, you know? And I'm trying not to cry again because like, Jesus Christ, you know? But like, basically, long story short, I called dude back and he didn't answer. So I'm like, okay, well, I have a kind of an understanding of him as a person. And I didn't like take it personally that he didn't call me back. I was just like, here we go. You know, that's how I was in my head. Yo, my toilet does weird shit. Like sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. And it's like every time I turn on the camera, that's when it decides to do that shit. Like repeatedly. And then my house creaked at the same time. This house is like super creaky and it's not even that old. But like, okay. I was like, here we go again, you know? And I think the part that I got irritated with, or I was more upset by, I guess, or the part that jolted my memory back to past things and past people was like earlier today. Like, I mean, we've been talking on the phone a little bit. And like earlier today, he called me and we had some little banter back and forth. It was interesting. He's a cool guy. He's funny. I guess talks enough shit to my liking. I like when people talk shit. I don't know, because I like to talk shit. So it's like, I like when people talk shit, but it's like, I also want you to be able to have a heart. And it seems like a lot of people who talk shit can't turn around and then have a heart. So that's where I have an issue. It's like, oh, okay. So during the week, like, I was like, okay, like, I really didn't give this guy a chance at all. Like, last week or a few weeks ago, I pretty much told him, like, don't call me. Don't talk to me, because I'm not going to deal with anybody who does not care about my feelings. And he did a lot to try to make it seem like he cared about my feelings. And I mean, I don't doubt that he does or doesn't, but what I'm saying is, like, he has more of a go with the flow type of mentality. So I was like, you know, we like basically had this mutual agreement where I was like, okay, well, maybe we should hang out. I mean, he's been wanting to hang out with me, and there's been times where he's wanted to hang out and I couldn't hang out, and I, you know, didn't come through. Okay. So it's not like it's that big of a deal, but what it was, I guess, for me was the residual emotions that I felt from past situations where people put me on the back burner, or other things came before me, or I was treated as an option, and it made me sad. Because I do get very attached really quickly. But I don't think I was more so attached. I think it's more so for me, like, I don't like being around a lot of people. Like, I don't like dating a lot of people. I don't like conversing with a lot of people. I really just want one person who's gonna love me like I love them. Who's gonna love me like I love myself. Who's gonna love me like they love themselves. Who just wants to have a beautiful, happy life. And it's really hard to find somebody like that. So when I called back, he didn't answer. And I was watching over the video that I had made prior, where I said I wasn't going to answer the phone. So he called back and I answered the phone. You see what I'm saying? You see what I was saying in the other video? But I did want to kind of explain, like, because I know I don't have to explain, but conversation to me is key. Communication is key. Talking about your thought process and how you feel and where you are emotionally and mentally in a situation is key. So I felt the need to do so. And I picked up the phone and he was like, well, he told me where he was at and he told me how long it would take for him to come and pick me up. And I was just kind of like, well, I mean, y'all, look at my face. This is literally what's going on when I get the phone call. And I'm like, I mean, I don't mind my regular face. Like, I love my face. My face is dope. Like, I'm beautiful. But I like to look jazzed up. I like to get gussied up and put on a little makeup and maybe some lashes and draw on a good eyebrow, okay, child? Because my eyebrows are crooked, y'all. I know y'all have seen it. They're crooked as fuck. I got them tattooed a while back, but I never went back and, like, got the rest. So it's like they're kind of fucked up. But I always draw them on and they're great. Like, because I literally had even less eyebrow than this. But I just like to get pretty. I like to get gussied up, all that type of good stuff. I want to look nice. I don't want to look... I mean, I could throw on a t-shirt and look nice. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, I want to look the way I want to look. And I'm just like, damn, like, the reason why I was so irritated about the whole situation was because earlier, I called him and I was like, hey, because I knew that I was going to get comfortable and I knew that I wasn't going to want to get up. But I kind of did want to hang out with the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's cool, but I wanted to know clearly, like, what the plan was. Because I just can't do, like, with 3 kids, a business, and almost being 30, I'm 29. Like, I can't just up and just do shit. I want to know what I'm going to do because my time is very important. Like, I could be doing these types of videos, or I could be filming tarot videos, or whatever it is that I want to do. And then if I want to include someone into that schedule, clear communication about what's going to happen and when it's going to happen makes it a lot easier for me to include you in that schedule. So I was trying to make that clear earlier today. And it was kind of like a response of, oh, okay, well, it was kind of like, well, I kind of like this response of, I really don't know what's going on. Can I call you when I'm done doing what I'm doing? And I'm not going to, the reason why I'm saying it like that is because I'm not going to put this person's business out there. But it's like that. It was like that. And I'm like, okay, I was like, look, I don't have an issue with you doing what you're doing and then letting me know like when you're done. What I have an issue with is I don't know if you're actually going to let me know if you're done or if it's going to change. So what I need to know is, are you for sure going to do what you say you're going to do if I were to get ready, or am I going to be sitting here waiting because that's what I'm not going to do? And it was kind of like, oh, can I just let you know when I'm done doing? And it's the same thing. And I was like irritated. And I'm like, all right. I hung up the phone, and that's when I kind of like that on top of like different other things that are going on, like with me and the kids, and like personally, like things that have been kind of crazy the past few weeks and days, and just the influx of emotions that I've been dealing with, like doing the readings and doing personals and things like that. It's been really, really tough. So it's like a balancing act where the scale, like any little thing, any little extra drop of water can dip and tip the scales in a negative direction. So I'm really trying to guard my energy. I'm really trying to protect myself. So in order to protect myself, just like I mentioned in last episode, I wasn't going to answer the phone because I'm doing something now that I want to do. And that's the time where, of course, you call. When I'm focusing on me. And it was a time before where he called me during a live video when I was live, and it like kicked all the people out my live. And I'm like, I guess maybe those are omens, because I guess it just goes to show that the timing is bad. So if the timing is bad, then you have to pay attention to that. So when I called back and he didn't answer, he called me back a few minutes later and he was like, oh, you sleep already? And I'm like, no, but I'm in the bed. So he told me where he was, and he's like, oh, I could be there in like an hour. And I was telling him, I was just trying to explain like how I felt. And I was like, I really do want you to come and pick me up. Like, I want to hang out. I really do. And it would be really fun. I'm not saying that we wouldn't have a good time, but it's just like, I don't know if I could do that. Because before he told me where he was, it's like, he was asking me, am I still going to be asleep later? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to be asleep. I'm not staying up all night waiting for you to get done doing whatever it is that you're fucking doing. That's unreasonable. That's unreasonable. And it was really sad, and it was really disappointing, because even though when I said that, he was kind of like, oh, well, I'm going to drop everything I'm doing, and I could be there in an hour. It's like, I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I don't mean to sound like extra critical, but that's the problem. That's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. Is that I have to be critical. Because if I would have said, okay, I'll wait, then I would have been waiting forever. I'm not going to wait. I'm not waiting on anybody. I'm tired of waiting. I've been waiting my whole life. I'm going to do it for myself before I wait on somebody else to do it. And then it's kind of like, oh, well, now that I realize you're not going to wait, let me hurry up and like stop what I'm doing and try to cater to you. And I feel that it kind of catapulted because of the frustration building up the entire evening from trying to like organize this and kind of hitting a brick wall to then, you know, getting a call at an inconvenient time for me. And then like just all of this extra. And I was trying to explain that to him. And I was just telling him that I don't think that is working for me. Like the whole situation, the whole conversation piece, the whole whatever situation. I'm tired. I was trying to explain to him, like, I'm tired of like situations. I just had trauma. I had trauma from other people. And I know you shouldn't do this. Okay. But I know myself. And I know that I'm not going to let someone else use this against me because I know that that's what they are possibly going to try to do. And I let him know at that moment, like, because he was upset, like, that I didn't want him. I mean, I don't think he was upset, but I'm just like, he was trying to convince me to, like, still come out. And I'm like, I just don't think it's a good idea. I just don't think this is working. And I already told him before that I don't think it's working. Because there wasn't any consideration. And it kind of proved it to me, like, in this situation. Because after I told him that, it's like, oh, well, why does it always have to be so serious with you? And why can't we just go with the flow? And we're friends, right? And I'm like, no, we're not. I mean, I know you, but, like, maybe we can get to be friends, but I don't really, like, saying that we're friends doesn't really change anything because all my friends have betrayed me, like, in my life. Like, there's only a few friends, like, that I've had, like, literally genuine friends I can count on one hand, maybe a few fingers. And I was, like, turned off by that. And I was just like, no, like, even with my friends, and it slipped out of my mouth. I didn't mean to say it, but it's like, when I love you, I love you. Like, when I care for you, I care for you. And it was this whole, oh, I gotta take it so serious. And I'm like, I'm not a type of person who runs and hides from my feelings. That's not who I am. So when I say love, just like the little boy who hugged me at the stadium, I love that child. I don't know that child, but I can still say I love him because I'm not afraid. And anyone who comes into my life, I love them because they're providing me an experience, whether it's a good experience, a bad experience, or neutral. They're providing me an experience, and I love them and I appreciate them for that. And it took me a long time to realize that. But long story short, it's like, I just felt like he was trying to diminish my feelings and make me feel like I was overreacting. And those are red flags for me. Those are red flags because I've dealt with a lot of people with sociopathic tendencies and narcissistic tendencies. And I don't want to deal with that anymore. I just want to deal with myself and love myself and be there for me until I find someone who's capable and worthy to do it with me. So the tears started coming down. And he was like, well, why does it have to be like that? I said, and I told him, I was like, don't you think I wish I didn't have to feel like this? Empaths don't want to be fucking empaths. We don't want to take life this seriously. We don't want to deal with these emotions. We don't want to have to feel other people all the time. It's too much. It's a lot. It's hard. It's confusing and it's stressful. Don't you think I wish that I could just go out here in the world and just do whatever the fuck? Don't you think I wish that I could just go out here in the world and not care? I wish I could, but I can't. And that's the reality. And that's what I was trying to tell him. And he just, the breathing and all the huffing and puffing. And I was like, you know what? And I told him this on the phone. I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to make you feel bad for your lifestyle. I'm not trying to make you feel bad for the way that you see the situation. I just feel like we see it differently. And I'm going to go ahead and just remove myself. And I said, I'm going to go now. And I hung up the phone. And the romantic person in me would be like, oh, well, maybe he'll call me back and, say that he doesn't want me to be upset and, make everything better. But the realistic person in me knows that I had to hang up the phone because that was never going to happen. Because if it was going to happen, it would have happened while we were on the phone. And of course, lo and behold, there was no phone call. There was no text message. There was no checking on me to see how I was because I knew what it was. And that's okay. Doesn't seem fair. And it feels like shit, but that's okay. Because now I've gained a little bit more strength. And even though it may still hurt that I have to pick myself up, I'm okay with doing it. And I'll continue to do it. So, thanks y'all for listening. Bye.